Chaz is like paused every now and then, but he's still here. You can see and hear, but none of us can hear you, correct?
Oh, I can see him.
Oh,
Okay.
I can see him. There we are. That's half the battle. Now we just need to get to hearing.
Does he have his mic muted?
There's something else wrong with his setup, I think. He's probably working on it. So it might be like in the top right, your browser didn't accept the mic, or something with Roll20 that's in the settings. There's a lot of, yeah. We'll give you a few. So, for both you, Don and Michael, since you were here last time, we had McClare, but he dropped out. He only wanted to do one session apparently, and didn't make that clear.
Okay.
But at least we had him for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Sounds all right. He kept hiding all those messages anyway.
yeah, he was just really playing that rogue.
I was going to say he had the character down pat.
Oh, I know. I was so excited to see him keep going. But it does happen. It does happen. As for
Just so you know, I did update. I did some reading and research, so I did update my character sheet to the character story and so forth to reflect more of the background of a dragonborn. Now that I know what they are and what his background, how to make it make sense.
Okay, very good, very good.
Nothing staggering, but
Eric, are you hearing other people talk? Or I haven't heard anyone talk besides you.
And I understand the spells he has,
Right.
what they actually do.
You weren't. Were you not able to hear Michael? Are you able to hear me? Or
I can hear. Yeah, I can only hear you. I haven't heard anyone else say anything.
so
I don't know if Don's talking.
reconnect. If you reconnect, I'm very
Okay.
sure that that'll solve the problem. Solved it for me. All
I
right.
see him.
There's Don. How you doing, Don?
Hey, Michael.
Yeah, now I see people. So,
Michael, do you go by
I
Michael
can
or
hear
Mike?
somebody.
it really. I'm not going to take offense at either way. Michael's great.
Okay.
So,
Hello,
Hello.
Hardin.
Hello.
Hardin.
hey, Hardun.
Hello,
How are you?
Oh, good, good. And Chaz is here as well. Amazing. All right. So,
Hello, Chaz.
just wanted to get that way out of the way with McClare to get that for you two, since you were here in the beginning. As for our new players, one thing I do want to just go over really quick is that this is Curse of Strahd, which means that it is a gothic horror setting, and there will be some grisly things that can happen, a little bit more so than most D&D, but we won't be delving into like any hard discussions about things like sex or whatever, and we won't be going into that, but it will be a bit more grisly and gritty atmosphere. That's the only real session 0 difference aside from my homebrew rule that I have for checks. And aside from that, since like half the party's been here, half the party's not, do you guys want to introduce yourself a little bit to each other?
Sure. My name is, on the screen name is Don. My
You want me to
character
go
is
first?
Creighton. He's a dragonborn warlock.
Well,
Last session was my first
my
session,
name is
so I was on a
Chaz,
steep
Wigglestomp.
learning
I am a
curve.
gnome.
And I'm still going to be learning. So just be patient if I ask stupid questions sometimes.
Oh, right. I can't hear the other guy. Then.
Two people are talking.
Okay, so Chaz, reload, and then you should be able to hear them. All right, now Don, speak something so he can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, excellent, excellent.
Good. Anyway, so I will probably still ask some questions as I'm going through the learning, but I'll be better than I was last week. Anyway, he's a dragonborn. He was abandoned early at age 8 by his parents because he bore the mark of a black crescent moon, which for his clan is an omen of doom and disaster. And so they left him in the gray woods. He was found by a Sylvan elder who raised him as his own son, and he's versed in the ways of magic, although he doesn't understand where his magic comes from. So it's a mystery he's seeking more information about. He is a champion for the underdog and the weak, because he understands what it's like to not be uh, um, to be weak and the underdog. He is a dragonborn without a clan, which is as bad as you can be when you're a dragonborn.
Excellent, excellent. So that's
Great introduction, Don.
Thank you.
Hey, I think you refined it. So, um, so anyway, my name's Michael, but the character I'm using is Zan Pip. I haven't played for very long, so I'm also fairly new to it. But Zan Pip is going to be a paladin. He's Asimar, and I'm sort of role playing him as if he's definitely lawful good, and his idea is that people don't have direction in their lives, and he's there to help guide them according to his God's direction, and what he thinks is that they need to act with honor, and they have to act um, be brave and be self-sacrificing in order to hold up the highest ideals. So he's going to try to make sure decisions get made that way, and be working in that idea.
And Creighton is chaotic good. He believes in good at all costs, and that's the point. To him, the costs are irrelevant, and rules are merely things that get in the way of doing good sometimes.
all right. And then Hardoon or Chaz, do you want to introduce your character?
Hardoon, do you want to go first? Or?
I guess not. So then we have Chaz, I guess. Do you want to go first while Hardoon's probably getting some stuff figured out? Or just
Yeah.
on a snack break?
This I played one shot yesterday for my first time ever. Today will be my first campaign, but I will be playing Chaz Wiggle Stomp. He is a young gnome. He's very cheery-eyed. He grew up with nobles as his lineage, but he was always the black sheep of the family. So no one really was like talking to him too much. He wasn't really doing too much either. But it all kind of changed because he found out a secret about the king. So and they basically found out that he knew as well. So he got not kicked out, but heavily encouraged to leave. So he kind of took his leave with that, and they gave him some money to basically hush money to go do your thing, but don't really use our name too much. He's not really one with his name. He never really fit in anyway, so he just kind of wants to be more of a guy of the people. His family didn't really like the people very much, so he's more of a guy of the people, a chaotic good. He wants to just get things done. He's tired of a lot of the bureaucracy that goes on around where he lives. So he's just looking to kind of make his own way and start his own adventure. He is 3 foot tall. He's not skinny, but you want a little hardy, but not too skinny, not too fat, or he's just kind of average build. He's got blonde hair, blue eyes. He's not good looking, but he's not bad looking. He's like he's a charmer. He never was the best looking guy there, but he'll charm your pants off for sure. He's bright eyed and bushy tailed. He doesn't get everything right all the time, but he's trying his best. He just wants everyone to like him.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
He's a very, very good guy to be around. He's fun.
Okay, okay. So, I love it. I love it. All right, now, Hardoon.
All right. Can anyone hear me?
I can.
I can hear you.
I
Excellent.
got you.
All right, we're back. Okay, so Hardoon is a furbog, so he's a very large creature, standing about 7 foot if he ever did stand to his full height. Most of the time, though, he's kind of bent over. He's very skinny for his height, and he's also would be considered albino. He's got very white, pale skin with sort of blotches of blue throughout, and then his hair, which is sort of a long in a ponytail about shoulder length, starts at kind of a very stark white and then gradiates blue towards the very dark end of the blue spectrum at the end. Um, he doesn't talk very loudly. Um, and you notice that there is a very deep scar that runs from his right ear and not quite across the throat, but down to the left collarbone. Um, and so when he talks, it's very raspy if he raises his voice too loud. Um, he believes very much in chaotic good as well. Although from his perspective, uh, he really feels that the guardians of nature are all well and good, but it's about time that nature delivers some wrath upon those that have been torturing her for so long. So that's his mindset. Um, Other than that, he's very simply clad, very simple leather armor and a scimitar. And then his eyes, his irises are kind of a half midnight blue, half purple. And that's Hardoon.
All right.
Great.
I am loving it. I am loving it. All right. So, this isn't the first session. In the first session, the characters did progress a little bit. You haven't missed much because this is the second for you, Hardoon and Chaz.
Yeah, just watch out for those dire wolves.
Oh, there are far worse things in Barovia. So, I am very excited for this. But first, you probably want to know what happened in the first session. If the characters who
No.
played last time want to go and describe what happened, they can, so that I can figure out what you think was the highlights and what you remember as well. I'll put up some letters as you go around, or to try to help jog your memory.
Yeah, sure. So I'll start. So of course we're in a bar and we're enjoying our post adventure drink when all of a sudden man walks up to us and gives us this letter here, which basically said, well, you can read it. Lowly a servant of Barovia, send honor to thee. We plead for you to so desperate for your needed assistance. The love of my life, Irina Koliana, has been afflicted by an evil so deadly that even the good people of our village cannot protect her. She languishes from her wound, and I would have saved her from this menace. There's much wealth in the community. I offer all that might be had to thee and thy fellows if you shall answer my desperate plea. So we definitely tried to go quickly after a good night's sleep. The halfling got a little drunk. I worked to turn a couple people over to followers of Torm. I don't think it lasted past their evening, and we headed out for me to try to put some order in here and fix this evil and work on healing the good. And I think for the others, they had some slightly different reasons. Part of it might be money, but that halfling seems to have left us at some point.
Yeah.
He was pretty untrustworthy to start with. I found him to be deceptive more than once as we journeyed together.
He was a character. So we headed up. It was a 5-mile journey out of town, and eventually, as we sort of were going along, we came across a point where it got quite foggy, and the fog was pretty unnatural. And there was a gate. We ended up being able to open the gate when we got through, I believe the gate locked behind us,
Yes.
and we started up the path when all of a sudden, Don, you got to take over from here because I was on the ground very quickly with 0 hit points.
Yes, we
And
were.
after that, it was a haze.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
it was a disaster. We encountered, I believe it was 4 wolves, maybe
It was
5,
three.
4,
Three.
3. Okay,
Yeah, I think of
it felt
30.
like plenty because they just did some unbelievable pack damage and basically took out our paladin to the point he was having to avoid death every roll, and our drunk um, rogue actually did the most damage of any of us, which was amazing, but he still was nearly killed. I survived, but I wasn't doing a lot of damage with my magic against them. So we did survive the encounter, barely. And then we decided to explore the area around the path a little. So we moved to the south off the path, and there in the clearing, we found a body. And it appeared to be another traveler. And this traveler had a note as well. And it filled in more details about the person we were going to meet and the lady that had been infected with the disease, and basically saying, at this point, as you can read it, that unfortunately they're dead. And so feel free to come on in or not, but you're not going to find a whole lot here when you get here other than probably death. On the body, we were fortunate enough to find a potion, which I took the risk and went ahead and gave it to Zanpip, hoping it was a healing potion. Had nothing to lose. And fortunately, it did heal him. And then he was able to use his skills to bring the rest of us back to a sense of well being.
Very good. So now that we are all on our 2 feet again, we limped down the trail into a village. Sent the rogue up ahead a little bit to scout it out, and after he told us it was all clear, we headed in, and I think her name was Crazy Woman. Crazy Woman number 1 came charging at us, and in the tank of a paladin tried to just ask her how she's to try to talk her out of it, but she attacked him with a knife and almost killed him with 1 shot again with another crit hit.
So I didn't wait for anybody to give any guidance. I just went ahead and hit her with my Eldritch Blast, and unfortunately, once again, was not very successful in doing much other than showing how ineffective my magic was being.
So once she was out, and I don't remember how she ended up dying, if it was you, but she died. Oh, the halfling killed her and pocketed a note, we learned, and the note ends up basically saying, trying to go over this, that she's punished for her crimes, and she was basically made to become this crazy person. How do you feel the fact that you killed her, trying to put us on a big guilt trip? And that's where we left it.
We heard moans throughout the village,
Right.
even although we were on the outskirts. And so we know that this is a place. Here are some of the people that are
Inhabitants, huh?
spotted. And so we haven't really advanced very far into the village, but we clearly know this is an area that is going to present a lot of challenge. Is not a good place to be. And we're trying to find some place that we can find shelter for before nightfall, because we know when nightfall comes, it's going to bring even more danger to us.
Very nice, very nice. So, That is actually a very detailed and good recap for you guys. And for you to know, if you're not here, I'm just going to use the poof mechanic where you were here the whole time. Yeah, you were here and did things. Everyone remembers. Just, yeah, so true. So basically, you guys did what the rogue did, but the rogue just never existed with via the poof mechanic. But yeah, that is where we start in this lovely setting after killing this woman and getting that lovely letter. Does anyone have any questions? 'Cause I think that was a very good recap.
Very good. Very good recap.
Hmm.
Quick question. What kind of moaning was it? Was it just like, you
Ah,
know?
so you want the specifics of the morning? All right. So here, for the village of Barovia, when you started to approach this village, it was sorrowful sobbing that you guys heard. To give you an accurate description of what you saw, repeating this flavor text, tall shapes loom out of the dense fog that surrounds everything. The muddy ground underfoot gives way to sick, wet cobblestone. The tall shapes become recognizable as village dwellings. The windows of each house stare out from pools of blackness. No sound cuts the silence except for mournful sobbing that echoes through the streets from a distance.
I appreciate it.
Do we see any lights at all in the village at this point?
Right now it's getting close to dusk, so there wouldn't be many lights. You
That's
would
right.
see.
It was our
Mm,
quest, wasn't it? We learned the man was a vampire, and we were sort of looking for a place. And from our history check, we learned that vampires cannot cross unless they're welcomed into a inhabitants. So
That is
we're
good
looking
to
for
know.
it. We're looking for a house, I think.
But ultimately, we have to find a house that someone owns that will allow us in, that will not allow the vampire in, since we don't own the house, if I
Okay.
remember correctly.
Uh, Obviously, that would be citing uh, the good nature of the people. Like, we don't just want to walk into someone's house uninvited. Or does that basically, if you go in uninvited, a vampire can just follow you in since you're breaking the rule as well?
I've not
We
had any experience with vampires, but I think at this point, I would rather be in a house uninvited than be outside.
yeah, that part was a little unclear, but the idea of being in a house needs to be a home, like you've lived in it and it is your home. You can't just say, "Yeah, this is my home for the night." Totally, and then leave the next morning and never come back. So it needs to be an
Yeah,
actual home. As for you guys intruding, if it breaks that, you're not vampire experts. You just remembered it a little bit off of some readings, so maybe.
um, so obviously, this town presents a lot of problems. Do we? And this is as far as we've gotten in. We haven't like been able to look any further.
that's
This
right.
is as this is as far as we've been so far.
So,
Just
so we
that
walked
house
up
that
and
has
was
the X on it is the only spot that we've
okay.
checked.
I got you. And we went into that house and were attacked at that point, or just attacked as soon as we walked up.
Attacked as soon as you walked up.
Attacked before we went into the house. Yeah.
And to
Okay.
give you an
Sorry.
idea,
I'm just
really
trying to get
quick,
the.
yeah, of how far you guys are, you guys should be able to see a little bit around here.
That's right.
Yeah, this is as much as you've seen.
Okay, understood.
All right, which is basically nothing. Yeah.
So you see, we made a lot of progress in our last session.
Yes. No. Considering the harrowing journey that we were all a part of, um, it's amazing we made it this far, team.
It truly is.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it looks like maybe there's smoke coming out of some chimneys. Is that an accurate thing, or is that a residue of fog?
It's hard to tell. Sometimes it is a little foggy here as you guys came out of the fog and were able to see these shapes, but it seems gloomy beyond belief. As for some smoke, mm, let's see. I'd have to roll for each house to be honest. So if you want to inspect a house, then I'll tell you if it's actually smoky or not.
Well, mathematically, there's about. Well, we shouldn't do that. Never mind. Sorry. I remember
um,
what I'm doing.
so does this feel like, and of course Hardoon would probably be whispering this whole time. Does this feel like a house to house situation? Like, can we like peer into windows without disturbing, or are we just going to knock on
I would
doors and
I would strongly advise whatever we choose to do, we need to do quickly as night is quickly approaching.
Well, we could go a little bit further in, as if, because if I was a vampire, I wouldn't just stick on the outskirts and stop. So we could go a little bit farther in rather than stick on the outskirts.
I agree with you, my small friend.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
So I guess yeah.
No argument here.
So you guys should be able to move your tokens. Just go by the road, and you'll be able to start to see more of the village as you go into it. And I'll describe more areas. All right. So when you get to here, Zanpip, the first thing that you see is there appear to be two villagers. Well, as the whole party gets there and crowds it, you see that there are two villagers. They are both walking just somberly as they're walking by. One is going this direction, well, up here, this direction, and the other is going this direction. As I'm gonna get them up for you in a sec. But yes, you see these townsfolk just walking. They look at you and notice you, but while they do notice you, there doesn't seem to be any recognition on their face, like oh, newcomers or new people. It's just, and they keep going.
Okay. I try to scan their mind to see are they thinking something that is I would consider logical thought. I use my
Yes, yes.
awakening mind attribute.
So it's 30 feet for yours, correct, Creighton?
Yes.
Okay. So 30 feet isn't a little bit. You'll be able to tell if you'll be able to go towards either the person going north or the person going south.
Okay, let's do the one going south. That's probably closer.
Okay. So when you go to the one south, it's really eerie. You feel this emptiness, this strange emptiness that you don't usually feel when trying to peer into others' minds. And it's merely thinking, home, done work, home, done work, as it just seems to walk slowly and keep going this way.
Okay. My friends, this the person I've checked the mind of the woman heading toward the south. Something is definitely not right. She just merely keeps saying home, done work, and keeps repeating it over and over. It is not definitely normal.
Well, if she's talking about home, perhaps we can go in there. We're looking for some place to spend the night, and we know that vampires are not. I want to avoid coming across a vampire here at night out in the open. Um, Perhaps we can talk our way into this house, but let's be careful as we follow her.
Okay. So you follow her,
I
and just for clarification, Creighton, in the future, it's you can telepathically speak to any creature you see within 30 feet of you. This time, you can actually read the thoughts of this person. So instead of having a conversation with words, you can have a mental conversation rather than peering into others' minds usually. But for these,
Okay,
it
so
does
what
work.
does that mean?
So what you were doing is technically detect thoughts. It does work in this circumstance, strangely enough, for different reasons. But detect thoughts is a spell that lets you peer on the surface thoughts of other people. But what you have, awakened mind, is instead of communicating like we are with our mouths, imagine
Okay,
Yeah,
that.
I
so I
got
could
that.
have a
Yeah.
I got that.
conversation with her then, theoretically.
You could, yes, have a conversation, but at this point, it's not even a conversation. You're just getting the surface thoughts, which is really weird. Like, that's not how this is supposed to work.
Okay. So I, what I did's okay, and sharing that with the team is okay,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's what we need is that kind of information.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure because that's what I read this week, and so I'm trying to learn about how those attributes work because those are all new to me.
Yeah, yeah. If you read somewhere that it lets you detect someone's surface thoughts or see what they're thinking, then I'd love to
Yes.
see that source. But
It was the player's handbook on D&D Beyond,
okay, I have
and
awakened
it
mine up here.
specifically said surface thoughts.
Hmm. I will double check
Be-
in the PHP here, but yeah, yeah. Um, I'm just seeing what it says online, and all right. Yeah, keep going.
And
I'll just
maybe
double
I'm
check it.
thinking detect thought, and maybe I'm thinking detect thoughts instead of awaken mind. I could have those because to me they were very, very similar.
They are, they are. So yeah, yeah. I think what you were thinking of is just to uh, make it here for you, so I can give you the links to them. The awakened mind would be right here. You can just scroll down and see it. While detect thoughts is right here, and that's a second level spell. So it is really
Okay.
weird, but yeah, they are close, and I can
So
easily
which
click
one
into
should
each
I
one.
be using for what I was trying to do?
Awakened mind. You don't have detect
Okay.
thoughts yet. That's not possible since you're level 2.
Okay.
Soon.
Soon,
Okay. So awaken
possibly.
mind, I can get awaken mind. What would I get from her?
Uh, again, normally your ability should not work like detect thoughts, but for this individual, it did, which is
Okay.
eerie.
Because she's not having a cognitive kind of conversation. She doesn't have that ability right now to have that kind of a conversation.
Maybe.
Okay. Okay. I think I get it. I'll sort of experiment if that's okay.
Yeah, definitely experiment.
So,
Take your time, figure it out.
okay. Thank you. Sorry,
Now,
team.
That's fine.
no. Should we be moving quietly through here?
Yeah,
Well,
guys, do you want to be quiet about this? Should I whip out my drum, sing a song? Like, what are we trying to do here?
I think quiet would be a good caution. We don't want
So,
to.
so should I
If you're
hum?
if you're asking me to remove my chainmail, it's not happening.
I can hum the song quieter.
I just don't want to catch the attention of anyone that we're not desiring to communicate with.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, we can keep it as quiet as possible. Obviously, not absolutely silent, but it doesn't seem like they're particularly looking for us right now. So I guess we're following this guy home.
The woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully,
Okay.
we can get a house to at least, hide out at until morning.
Yeah, so let me. So I'll
Although,
move. I'll move up a little bit closer.
and what you all don't know, because you weren't here the last time, theoretically, this is an out of character chat. I typically watch the end. I stay on the back to watch our backside. So,
That's fine. Whatever. I'm not sure what the marching order is. Once again, I am good wherever.
well, since you're in our party this time, you could do that if you want. I just try to protect the little people.
Well, I don't want to like metagame, obviously, but a wild shaped druid in the back is always a plus, only because if something comes running up on a spellcaster, it can get pretty nasty, pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay.
But once again, I don't. It's hey, I was asleep the last time. You guys were carrying me through the snow.
All right. So you guys continue, and as you progress into this dour and dank village, you see again some of the windows are boarded up, some of it's just pitch black. It seems as if the life of this city or village has just been sucked dry. until you get to this square. Once you get to the square,
Well,
you see this building up here, this bigger one, has a few lights in it, and a single shaft of light thrusts illumination into the main square, its brightness looking like a solid pillar in a heavy fog. Above the gaping doorway, a sign hangs precariously askew, proclaiming this to be the Blood on the Vine Tavern. And in addition, you see that sparse light comes from this building. It spills out from behind drawn heavy curtains. A sign over the door, creaking on its hinges, reads "Bildras Mercantile," and you hear sobbing coming from down here. It's quite a few things.
okay.
Does
Oh wow.
anyone know if a vampire can go into a tavern uninvited?
I assume so, since everyone's invited inside of a tavern, that it would be an open invitation, probably. But I mean, again, I'm no vampire. I've never seen a vampire. They don't really got that going on in my land. So, it's yours guess as good as mine at this point.
So it looks like we have a choice. We either continue following the woman, whose mind seems to be a bit strange to me, or we could maybe veer into one of the two areas now where we see what seems to be maybe more normal.
Though I really tend to avoid groups like this, I do think in this instance uh, that might be the place to go to find out more of where we can at least stay.
Yeah, go ahead if anyone else has to talk.
No, I'm all for the tavern.
I was,
I could use a drink.
I was gonna say, I mean, do we want to lose the guy going home?
I prefer
Well,
going in.
well, the tavern might have a place to stay.
I prefer going into a
Maybe.
spot with lights. Who knows what house she lives in? All these other houses are dark.
That's a fair point. Yeah, that's a fair point.
And to be honest, our friend telling us that her thoughts were like that, it's not right.
I would simply say that if you weren't here, I would choose the tavern.
Let's do. Before we go in, I'd like to check out this crying that we're hearing from down the street.
Is that what we want to do? Are we sure that's what we want to do?
Does anyone know about how long before dark is?
I mean, it's dusk. Do you want to risk it?
Is this crying?
I'm a little scared. I'm just saying.
I'm pretty sure, Chaz, that our friend, and I kind of look at Zanpip, has probably already made his mind up.
All right. I'm here, ready to party. I'll bang some drums. But I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready. That's what we're doing.
I think that this crying sounds a little bit different than the moaning that we heard. Is that accurate? Do the rest of you get that sense?
So, when you try to decipher the differences, you, when listening around, hear these mournful sobs like what you heard in the beginning of the town here. But you also do hear almost around the town as an eerie echo, as if there's just sobbing everywhere. Not like in every building, but distantly in almost different corners of the town.
Well, it sounds like it's the same sobbing that emanates from many places in the town. So to me, I would not say it's unique. And as a result, I don't feel like it deserves immediate attention.
That's kind of where I was going. Like, we could rest in the tavern. I'm sure they'll be crying tomorrow. I don't think this is a today type of situation. If it was just my opinion, but I'm free to, I'm open for opinions.
No, I agree with Chaz.
Like he reluctantly, like it's
I really don't want to go in this inn, to be honest, but We all have to do what we have to do.
Reluctantly, Xantip, you know, turns his head and to face the inn and starts walking toward the inn.
All right. So you go to the Blood of the Vine Tavern. Let me group you all together so I can just push you, put you all there. When you get into here, let me put your character tokens in. You go through the door, and what you see is thus. Now, the tavern is dimly lit. There's not much life here as well. You see three people covered in cloaks in this corner as if they're just paying attention to themselves, and while they do notice you, they don't seem to really care. These people in here look a lot like the woman that you saw before, where they're just aimlessly meandering through their day or just going about and they're just slowly moving as if there's almost no life to them. You see the barkeep is just cleaning glasses, barely looks up, looks back as he continues to clean, not even acknowledging your presence like a good barkeep would if there's no one here. And there's a man in this corner, kind of hunched over, drinking, slams it with a little bit of life as it goes down to the table. He just has his hand on his face, just kind of in this dour mood as well. Why? Hmm. And for some reason, your character
um,
tokens are not here.
Taking a look around,
Oh, copied something else that was not intended. Sorry, continue. I'll get your characters here in a sec.
Hardoon, as he kind of looks around, he sees kind of these aimless people. Does he see anyone that looks like they're more alert or more uh, into it?
While you look around, you can see that these three are technically there. There you are, all dogpiled. Technically, they're there, but they don't really care about you. This person doesn't seem to notice that you're there, and this person does seem a little bit different. And of course, there's the barkeep, but the barkeep just gives off the same vibe that everyone else does.
Is there a barmaid there as well?
Yes, you
Down
see a barmaid slowly
down
going
here.
about, bringing like one cup at a
So there's more
time.
than one.
Actually, yeah, there's two. There are two. There's a
Okay.
second one here.
I'd like to just throw out a little bit of a divine sense right now, which is can I detect any undead or fiends in this bar, or are all these people alive?
Yeah, yeah. So you go in, see this is fishy. Just connect yourself to everywhere around you. Look as you have this like almost expansive sense around you, and it picks up nothing.
So and share that with everyone else, guys. I think we're in the presence of some people. Let's get some information.
Well, that's a good first step.
Should we
I,
go? Oh, sorry.
so I'm gonna go hit up the bartender. Let's see if I can get us a round of drinks.
That was my idea as well. I was gonna say we should probably talk to the bartender. He probably is gonna know more than anybody else.
Hardoon will share to the group that that person down in the corner seems a little bit more alert than the rest of these other people in here.
All right. So move your character
So
tokens as you
let
wish.
I'm going to go ahead and secure a table for us, so that we have a place as you all start to scout around and talk that we can come back to. I'm looking for a foretop that's not near people. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time with the zooming with the map. It's got a big delay on my side for some reason.
Oh. Hmm.
I think
Roll20 just doesn't like you.
once I saw Chaz head over to the bar, I decided to head over to those the three people with the cloaks to ask them Ask him what's fun to do in town.
All right, so not on the table. You want to be at a chair. There we go. So we'll start with Zanpip first, since he was closest to the door, and then we'll go to Chaz, and then we will go to Hardin. All right. So first, Zanpip, you go to these people, and do you sit down or do you stand?
So I'll stand there and evening gents. Do you mind if I pull up a seat? My friend's going up to get us some drinks.
Keep your business to do yourself, is what they say, and they kind of look at you with a "get out of here" look. Like, we don't want you here. Very inhospitable.
Hey, hey, we're not looking for any trouble, but we came across some of your townsfolk. You guys ever heard of somebody by the name of Danya? We had a chance to meet Danya on our way into town.
Yes. She is punished by the Lord. The devil himself.
What she was doing did not. The the devil, is that what you just said?
Yes. I see
Did I
you're
hear you
new.
right?
Yes, I see you're very new. I would suggest that you visit the Vistani as soon as possible.
Where would I find this Vistani?
Go to the Zer Pool encampment, and you shall find them. Now, good day. Good day. They say as they kind of like look away from you, get back to their drinks.
And I guess quick insight check, is that seeming like that's going to be the most I'll get from him?
Yeah, even with a 9, you can tell that they just do not care about you and do not want to entertain anything to do with you. You can't really get any more from it, but you can just tell that they have this get away from me feeling.
All right, so I'll head over and join Creighton over here at the table to be able to wait for the others to come back with the drinks
All right, now
and the
Chaz,
information.
you go to the barkeep, and what do you do?
Well, he doesn't really notice me right away because, I'm a little short. So I kind of go, "Hey, barkeep! Hey,
And he looks
can you see me down here?"
he looks actually, yeah, instead of up, he looks down at you and says, "Glasses 1 copper, pitchers 1 silver." Just cleaning glasses. It's like he's cleaning the same glass for an irregularly long amount of time.
That's good. It's all well and good. Can I by chance ask you a question,
Glasses 1 copper, pitchers
barkeep?
1 silver. Puts the glass down, picks another up, and starts cleaning it.
Okay, so I'll take 3 pictures then.
Nods as he goes back, takes these pitchers in a slow manner, and just opens like a tap on a barrel. Puts them in front of you. 3 silver.
Oh, I'll hand them. So.
Alright, so you pay the 3 silver. Oh, for the 2 players who joined
Okay.
us, you are level 2, so you start out with 50 gold.
Yeah. Okay.
How much did you say? I'm sorry, because I didn't even have that in my.
Oh, so you start out with 50 gold
50.
since you're level 2.
Okay.
I removed 37. Okay. I guess I'll head over, but I'm kind of like checking everything out. I'm kind of looking around. Can I do like a perception check, like looking around, like here? Like
Uh,
see if I see anything out of the ordinary.
if there was a
No.
chance of that, I'd let you roll, but there isn't, so I'm not going to have you roll for no reason. Or there's no
Gotcha.
suspense even for it. So you don't really notice anything else
Gotcha.
out of the ordinary except this
Okay.
eerie, dour feeling around you. And that, yeah, the barkeep was really weird.
Okay.
So
I guess I'll just head to the table as well with my drinks. Yeah. Yeah. Grab my drinks and then head over to the table, plop them all down, go. At least they got drinks here, guys.
Good job, Chaz.
He didn't really want to talk very much. Sorry to say, guys, but he wasn't very interested. He just kept giving me the drink prices, and I just said, here's the money. And then he poured something, so hopefully it's alcohol.
that it was. That it was. So, now we go to Hardoon. You sit down. This man doesn't even notice you as he's just drinking. Just. Uh, uh,
Uh,
Five.
I'll kind of tap the table like, well met.
who are you? Who are you? Um, you're new. What can I do for you?
Uh, that I that I am. My name's Hardoon, and I think I can do for you what you can do for me, which is why is everyone acting so strangely?
Um,
And we are not.
so you see at first with his hand over his face, it was just, who are you? As he opens it and takes a bigger look at you, he starts to recoil a little bit more when he looks more at your features. And he says, I didn't know any of your kind were coming into this establishment. We don't have anything for you, but
Uh, I
what as you
I
can
apologize. I apologize. So first, I'm not used to you know being in town.
I can tell,
And
yes.
if I could please cast if I could please cast alter self at will as a furbog, and I will in appearance just appear to shorten to about human height, and I just kind of look like a normal scruffy beard human at this point. I still take up the same amount of space, but I can appear differently.
Yeah, I'm checking to
So I'll
see
do that, and I'll be
if
like,
that's like if that's as if it's a normal spell, which would be disguise self.
yeah, it's
Okay, so disguise
I
self is
believe that's
verbal.
it.
So whenever you cast a verbal spell, usually it's very obvious that you're casting a spell, and I mean
Oh
it'll
yeah.
be obvious. So if you want to do that, you can, but just know that
Well,
that's
no, I wasn't trying to hide it at all. No,
okay.
no, no.
As you cast a spell, he seems to
No, I was
tense
not
up a bit
hiding
more
it
in his
at all.
chair.
Literally, as I was.
And as you get smaller, he says, so you possess magic now too. Uh, um, please don't kill us anymore. I,
I'm just trying to. I,
are you
I'm
here
just
for
trying
my
to make it
sister?
more comfortable.
I'm,
You're what? No, wait.
I
Wait.
know that
Who's
And
your
I
I know
asked,
sister?
that you're under the devils, his servants, or maybe you fight them. I know you work for the devil, but please don't take my sister. She's all I have.
And the whole time Hardoon is like he's confused too. He doesn't know how to socially interact,
okay,
and he's like,
while this is going on, I'm asking the gentleman in. I'm asking him, who is your sister?
Oh,
While
so you
he's
guys,
doing this talking,
so yeah, at this point, you guys are at
I'm
the
using
table.
awakened mind to ask him who's his sister. I'm close enough.
All
That's why I
right.
asked that question.
All right, and I'm assuming you haven't used an awakened mind on the rest of the party right now, so that'll be a little treat when that happens. So when you use awakened mind, you ask him who is this? Oh God, what, who's? And he's really having a panic attack at this point, as he's not answering you
Doesn't he have
telepathically.
to
He's more.
roll a save throw?
No, no, it's not a saving
Doesn't he have
throw.
to roll a save throw on
No, no, he can't roll
that?
a
Okay.
saving throw on it, which is also makes it hilarious. But there's something else that's added to it that's fun. But he's looking around too because you can
Uh,
tell just from that this person is not that experienced with magic as well. As everyone at your table sees Hardoon getting flustered and this man panicking as he's looking around like, oh God.
uh, uh, and I quite honestly am trying to make it easier for him. Like he said, "Oh, I'm not used to your kind," so I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'll change myself to one of your kind." And then
It
he
didn't make
starts
it
freaking
better.
out, and I'm like, well, "I'm just trying to make things better. I don't know what I'm doing."
Can I
Okay.
can I pull out my flute and like attempt to like calm things down?
So how are
I
you gonna
mean,
try to
a
calm this down with a
druid, you
flute? Just
know.
like have a little performance, like look at
I'm gonna
me.
play him a soothing song, you know, a little like my heart will go on. It's okay.
How about
Roll
You
a
know,
performance
I can
and
make him weep.
you
I will
can.
make him weep.
Oh, weep. Okay, if you want to go that route, then
No, no, I'm just
if you're trying to soothe him, you can do that
what?
with disadvantage, as you're new strangers, and he is panicked out of his mind at this point. So,
Okay, so how do? Okay, so I roll
performance at
two d20s
disadvantage.
and I pick the lowest one. Okay.
Oh, well, I don't think you need to roll a second roll, so
okay?
seven's bad enough. So you're just like,
At
you
this point,
nervously pull out your flute,
I
Chaz. You're like you're trying to, but it's just nothing is helping set this mood.
at this at this point, I see things are falling apart. So I go over and walk up to him, and I say, "Hello. There's no need to be afraid. There's no need to worry. We're not here to hurt you in any way." So I'm trying to use a persuade him to calm down.
You can roll
We're
a
just
persuasion.
simply travelers.
Okay, well, we'll see. You can try to roll a
Okay.
persuasion. Yeah, you have Chaz assisting you with his performance, his attempt at it, which wasn't great, but with these two together, you might get something. So we'll see. Okay, so you see with this, he kind of calms down, and he starts to ask, "What? Why was there? Why did I see multiple eyes trying to speak to me? And why is a werewolf here then?"
We're all just travelers going through this town, and we came in the inn tonight to try to avoid encountering some of the unusual things that appear to be happening in this town.
Oh,
So we're only asking questions to try to understand better what's happening here and also how we might be able to help. That's what we do.
hmm.
And my colleagues and I, we have different skills that we use to help those who need help.
So he looks at you,
And
Hardoon,
so the
and he asks,
questions are merely,
"Oh, okay." So he looks at Hardoon and he asks you, as well as Zanpip, while he's looking at Hardoon, "Then why do you have a werewolf with you?"
Oh, I'm not a werewolf. I'm a furbog. Common misconception.
What is a
I was
furball?
really just trying. Well, think of well, when a giant loves an elf situation. It's an interesting uh, parenthood. Uh, but to echo my good friend's statement, we are here for good. I was trying to make things better, and I made it worse. I don't really talk to people very often.
my friend, as we all know, this is a strange world with a lot of very interesting and unusual things in it, both good things and bad. We are here because we do like to help. And we know that there are some very bad things in this area. We've already encountered some. We were asked to come here at the request of a father who wanted us to help his daughter. And all we're trying to do is figure out what is plaguing this village and if there is a way we could help so that we could ultimately help this father help his daughter. So
Who?
again, we apologize if there were any ways we made you feel uncomfortable or confused.
So I think I'm understanding the situation a little bit better, but who is this father and daughter? I might know them.
So Zanpip's gonna scoop up those. Zanpip will scoop up the 3 pitchers and as many glasses as he can, and come on over and pour a drink for our friend, and say, the burgomaster of Barovia was asking, sent us and is asking about his help, and have you ever heard of an Irina?
Irina's my sister, and the burgomaster's dead. He didn't ask for anyone's help. He wouldn't. He was trying to send someone a few days ago to tell others to not come to our cursed land. But I don't know where you're getting this
We
idea that he asked
found
for help.
we found the individual that you're referencing. Unfortunately, he was no longer alive. He had been slain by some wolves in the forest outside of town.
Understandable, unfortunate, but uh, what else did you expect? Or what else did I
Camp.
expect, really?
Uh, so I'm going to talk to Zanpip with awakened mind and say, should we show him the original letter?
Ooh, ooh, ooh. So first, when you talk to Zanpip, you hear these words, but you also feel slithering around your mind, as if there's some weird, abhorred, oily tentacles writhing around when you hear these thoughts, and then it dissipates.
So I start rubbing my head while this is going on, but I try to concentrate on the message.
hmm And you don't notice this part, Creighton. It's just you, Zanpip, notice this.
Oh,
Yeah,
Zanpip notices. I thought
yeah,
you meant me.
No, Zanpip
um,
notices.
yeah. Trying to just put myself in character. It's either
Does he know it's me?
no.
No, we've established that you haven't done that before, so.
I think Zampip's gonna Zampip jumps up and his knee hits the table as he stands up, and he looks around. What's going on? I think a pitcher tips over.
Hardoon will take that as kind of a threat, and he'll kind of drop down.
You see this man pull out a
Calm
sword
down,
halfway,
everyone.
start looking around like, is there a threat? What what's happened?
Calm down, everyone. Everything's okay.
Are there enemies? I'm very confused. What's going on right now?
Okay, then
Zanpip, we have another letter. Should you maybe present that to this gentleman?
I think the letter. I think it's making sense. You know. So I guess I'm gonna think. I'm gonna say, be thinking, is this you, Creighton?
And I just simply mentally say yes.
At that point, you feel as if there's like a little claw scratching at your mind with a gentle yes, as it's like nails on a chalkboard, but in your mind as it goes down very quickly.
Um, I'll, I'll pass the letter to Creighton, and then just think back like, Get out,
I'm gonna
get
look
out of
at
my head.
Xanthip.
This is
What?
not right.
And you hear that, Creighton. It seems normal. Like you hear it, get out of my head. This is not right. And you're like, "Well, okay, I guess. Just uncomfortable, you know. Consent's important, I guess, for mind talking. But yes, Hardoon, were you saying something?
Oh well, I'm gonna look at Xanpip. Still ready to rumble. Like, what are we? Are we? What is going on?
So at this point, while they're looking around, and I'm trying to remain calm, make sure that we're calm, and I go ahead and offer the letter to the gentleman sitting at the table. Here is the original letter we received from the burgomaster.
So you give him the original. All right. So he takes a quick look at it, looks over, and he says, "This isn't in my father's handwriting. No, this is someone else. This is a fake." As he gives you that letter, like this is not. This was not written by the burgomaster.
At this point, Zanpip, would you show him the other letter we found on the body in the woods?
So I'll take it out, but I'll push my sword, kind of back in and settle back down. And sorry, just had a cramp in my calf from walking so much. And I'll
I
hand the
understand. Just
re,
questioningly. All right. So.
reassure everybody that, hey, this is all right.
Mhm.
Things are okay. Sorry that I jumped up. And let me hand the letter off to Creighton.
Okay.
And again, I look around, make sure everybody's still calm, and then I hand that letter to the gentleman, and I say, "Is this from your father?"
Looks at the second letter, the one you found on the dead person.
Yes.
Yes, this is the letter that he sent out that we were hoping we'd give to some others to try to stop people like you from coming in, since every once in a while there's new individuals that come and they bring some life to the cursed land of Barovia, but they all suffer the same fate.
And what is that fate exactly?
To become toys of the lord of this land. To become toys of the devil himself.
Can you tell us anything more? Can you tell us anything more about this lord of the land?
I can tell you many things. I can tell you, as the letter stated, that he is a vampire that has been over this land for over 400 years, terrorizing us and letting us not live our lives. But beyond basic knowledge of that, we know that, well, personally, the devil, he comes every once in a while to take his feed off of those and toy with those who have life until he gets bored of them and breaks them. But as for me and my family, we hadn't had much contact with the devil until recently. Recently, he took an interest to my sister. I don't know exactly what he
What
wants.
changed to cause this interest?
I I I don't know. I don't know why now all of a sudden there's an interest, if there ever was before, if anything else along those lines. I don't know why he's doing this or what he wanted, but our father, me and my sister, he died a few days ago after vigorous assaults on our home, and every night there were so many wolves, so many undead, so many zombies, and eventually my poor father's heart gave out from the stress of it during the day, and we were expecting to be our last night, and for some reason he's given us reprieve.
So at this point, I sit down at the table and take one of the glasses and have a drink.
It's not the
I'll,
best wine, but
I'll
it's okay.
pour one for this man. Yeah. So I think pour a drink, and I like to hold it up as a toast
T-
and say to your father, the burgomaster,
To my father.
rest in peace.
Well,
And I
May
to that, he clangs a glass, drinks, puts it down on the table, and says, "To that, there's an issue. We made a coffin for my father, but the rest of the town is wary. The devil himself has come to claim something that is his, or what he thinks is his, even though my sister is not anyone's possession. But because of this, no one wants to risk his ire, and thus has not helped us bring the coffin of my dead father to the church for burial. So I don't know if his soul will be able to rest."
Oh, this cannot. Hardoon does not like this. No, 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 no. And he'll look to Zanpip and say, I have some herbs and medicines for those cramps. We'll talk later. And he'll sit back down and, no, it's not right to block a natural progression, especially one of someone so close. All this over the superstition, basically.
Well, yes. It's superstition tempered with a very real fear of what the devil himself could do.
Where is your sister currently?
Currently, she is residing in our home, hoping that maybe that'll stop the devil, but we would we'd know smarter than that. After all, he has many ways to get around whatever restrictions we believe he has, and some things we even know are not actually dangerous to him. I that he is a monster beyond reproach. But yes, my
Such
sister is at
as,
home.
such as.
so I wanna point to the word vampire and say, is this the monster that you're talking about? Is this the Lord, the devil?
Yes, the devil is a vampire that has ruled these lands, and, well, as long as any of us can really remember. Longer, much longer, unfortunately.
Can you mentioned a home where night is coming, and we're in a desperate need of a place to stay.
Yes,
Would you be able to allow us to stay at your house?
I think actually, as he
We can
puts
pay
his
you.
as he puts his drink down very quickly, he says, "I think I have a better idea. If you come to my home, and we could take my father's coffin to the church, we might be able to stay the night at the church and figure out what to do, or figure out something, some other possibility for a course of action. I know I have to stay here and be in charge of the village, but I want to protect my sister, and if we could get you a place of rest, a place of refuge for the night, bring my father's coffin over, and maybe the abbot has some answers for where my sister could go as well, or what my sister could do. Yes, that could be an option.
It is hallowed ground,
So
so
Chaz
I think so.
Hardoon, in Creighton, in my time at the Temple of Torm, I remember some clerics talking about how the church ground is sacred, and evil is injured, or evil struggles to exist in hallowed ground. I suggest that the church would be a great place of refuge for us to travel.
Hardoon will readily agree with that. He knows of spots that aren't touched by corruption. Um, so yes, yes.
And I do have to say, Hardoon, you did an amazing job with that shape changing. In that chair. You definitely shrunk your size down, and it's pretty great. This is role playing to the extreme. I love it.
I was trying so hard.
Yeah, no,
I,
out of game, you guys are
I
doing
was like,
great.
what would socially awkward? What
Spell
would
of
socially
invisibility too, so it's really
right, right? Oh, I love a furball, but
good.
but no, I was like, what do I do? Socially awkward guy who can change his size. Okay. Uh, I love it. So, yes, no, Hardoon is definitely, yes, I agree. I want to see this person put to rest, and B, I agree. We should find safe ground.
Uh, Chaz at this point really doesn't have like that much of opinion. He's pretty new to the group. He's just gonna pretty much go along with whatever you guys are saying at this point.
And that's why we love Chaz.
Yeah, he just wants everyone to like him. He's not gonna go, oh, and I have a different plan for all. No, he's just gonna go along with it. Basically, he just goes, sounds good to me. So, he doesn't. He's not gonna be too
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So,
Creighton, we're all in agreement.
I concur.
okay, so just to
Can I
clarify,
take
you're
like?
going to help this poor man. Basically, is your agreement correct?
Yeah, yeah. He
Can I
he
go
he
to the
prom-
bathroom real fast? Like it should be like 1 minute.
Bathroom? Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually about the time when we'd probably take a small 5 minute break or so. So if people need to take a very quick break, we could come back in like 2 to 3 minutes. How does that sound?
Yeah,
Sounds good.
refill the drink real fast.
Okay.
It
Sounds good.
sounds fine. Yeah.
I'll
By
be
the
back.
way, if people see me like walking around and stuff, I'm a GM manager by trade, so it's hard for me to like sit. So I'm
No,
still
no,
here.
you're,
I
I
you're
promise.
gotcha.
No
no,
problem.
that's fine. And when I was saying about you role played, I think your son appeared in your chair, so definitely a
Mhm.
little bit shorter than you. That's what I was referring
Oh
to.
yeah. No, he's
You
a
went for the
beast.
visuals, so
He's a beast. Yeah, that's my
that's
big
awesome.
guy. My little redhead's over here destroying the world.
Oh,
No, I'm loving all of it. Don's doing great. Hard Dude's doing great. Xantim is doing. I think we're
it's
all
fun.
doing pretty good.
yeah. Now as
I,
long as we don't get into a combat, we should be great. We'll be
I
fine.
appreciate the voices, and stuff like that. I was like,
I love
hopefully,
yours.
I'm
I
not
love
the
yours.
only one that's gonna make a voice because I was like, I'm gonna be so sad.
I
But
Hey,
good.
I'll be right back.
Welcome back, Zanpip. All right, let's get everyone back, and then we will continue in this lovely setting. No, I do like how you guys are role playing, getting into character more and everything. That's wonderful.
No, it's fun. It's a story right now, so that's good. Yeah, so my question early, so I know, for last week I had paid and that got me in there, and then when I was going, I was like, oh, I got to pay again. So do you know what's the best way to do that? Or is it to go through that, or do you do a Venmo or anything?
Well, currently, since I'm just working with Start Play right now, maybe in the future it'll
Okay,
change. But currently, the best way to do it is through Start Play. As for payments, again, if you have any questions not in session, just message me and I can message the person who's in charge of Start Play, so we
gotcha.
can get it figured out.
Okay,
Yeah, because I
all
want to
right.
make it as best
We'll
I
do
can for
that.
you.
Yeah, because I mean I didn't check anything out until I guess until we got to that point to today, and then I was like, oh, okay, got to make sure that's that. So it's all good.
All right, good, good. So now we have Chaz back, and
I'm back as well.
oh, okay, that was Hardoon. Good, good. Don still going around doing his thing. Okay, there we are. Welcome back, everybody. So, now you guys are escorting this poor man to his house. By the way, when you get out of the inn, or in the process of getting out, he does give you his name. His name is Sildar. Oh wait, not Sildar. Sorry, wrong game. His name is Ismark. Blah. Ismark. Was I thinking Sildar? Ismark Kolyanovich is the man's name. If you
Question: is there somewhere that can take notes?
on your character sheet in Roll 20, there is a section
Okay.
I believe for note taking. Let's say no, that's not it. I would need to check my
Yeah,
note
I think
taking.
under bio,
Yep.
I guess you could probably do a little bit in there, character backstory or the additional features and traits, and just
Yeah.
delete it later, right?
Yeah, you could just do it that way. That's a really good way of adding notes to it that I've
Okay.
found. Something else that I can add to is if you want, I can add an extra little handout for you. Everyone's notes, for example. And then in this handout, if you check your journal here, you should be able to edit it and put in whatever notes you want in description and notes.
Oh, that'd be great because when I was thinking about what we did last week, I was so glad that Michael took the lead initially because it's like, how did we even start the adventure? I remember how it ended, but I couldn't remember how it started.
If you want, I'll make a quick little thing about, let's say, well, I'll put it as, I'll just give everyone their own little notes, and then no one can complain if they don't have notes. So, I'll do that while we are continuing on. Now, when you continue on here, you leave this inn, the Blood of the Vine Inn, and you get his name. His name is Ismark Kolyanovich. Now, after you well, I'll get you guys notes later. So after you guys get Ismark out of the Blood of the Vine Tavern, he continues to take you south along the road. He takes you here, here, and in this house right here, this one, is where you hear a lot of weeping from this townhouse.
I'm gonna
And
elbow them and say, guys, I wanted to go down here to begin with.
Does Izar know? If I'm saying his name wrong, I'm sorry. Does he know anything about this? I'm going to kind of be like, hey, is this normal? Like, should we check this out? Like,
oh, um, that's mm, so she she had a daughter who, to the best of my knowledge, escaped and is fearing the worst. I don't know what else I can do for her or what anyone can, but I just hope that she somehow finds her daughter. that's really all I know, and it's a sad sorry state, but that's also what happens in, well, here in Barovia, unfortunately.
What's her name, Ismar?
Hers,
Do you know her
Mary.
name?
Mary.
The mother or the daughter?
Oh, the mother is Mary. The daughter is Gertruda. Gertruda is missing, and well, Gertruda was also sheltered for, well, all her life, actually. And she she just vanished one day. Probably escaped. We're not entirely sure, but whatever it is, we hope that she'll come back one day and be safe. Although honestly, I think it is a futile hope, as most things are in this cursed land. However, if we can get hopefully some ray of sunshine, maybe you new lot could do something. I don't know if you can, but that's all I can hope for. But anyway, to my sorry state of affairs, he says as he starts taking you further down. Now, mhm,
So, Ismark, one quick question. Are you the new burgomaster then? Earlier you mentioned taking care of the town, and if your father's no longer alive, does that responsibility and role fall to you?
yes, yes, I guess it does. He says it kind of like more dawns on him than anything else, but he continues afterwards very quickly and says, "But I'm not my father, and most of the villagers make sure that I know I'm not my father. So it's eh, I'm a name the burgomaster, but I haven't really come into that role as my own yet. Would be the most unfortunate thing, which is why I can't leave this town, as I need to try to help and protect what I can." So as he takes you guys down, I'm just gonna use Chaz as character token. He takes you to this big place. And what you see when you approach is a weary looking mansion squats behind a rusting iron fence. The gates are twisted and torn. The right gate lies cast aside while the left swings lazily in the wind. The stuttering, squealing, and clang of the gates repeats with mindless precision. Weeds choke the grounds, impress with menace upon the house itself. Yet, against the walls, the growth has been tramped down to create a path all about the domain. Heavy claw marks have stripped the once beautiful finish of the walls. Great black marks tell of the fires that have assailed the mansion. Not a pane nor a shard of glass stands in any window, and all the windows are barred with planks, each one marked with stains of evil omen. And as he motions to this, he says, "This is what's left of my home. Shall we go inside?"
How is this a home? How do you live here?
That's a good question. As he continues to move on. And as he continues to move on, he knocks on the door and says, "Irina, Irina, it's me, Ismark. I'm home with friends from beyond Barovia. I'm hoping they can help." As you hear some locks get undone, and you see this woman open the door. And let me blow up her picture for you so you can see it. She is a human female, and she has this sort of look to her. And as she opens the door, you see a very almost hopeful expression in her eyes. Then she says, "Oh, Ismark, who who are these people?" He says, I hope they're friends to help us, but I'll prepare the coffin as you greet our guests." As he goes inside. And before you get into any conversation with her, once you see the interior of the mansion, you see that it's well furnished, yet the fixtures show signs of great wear. Noticeable oddities are the boarded up windows and the presence of holy symbols in every room, of just whatever religion you can think of. Mostly, if someone wants to roll a knowledge religion, there's one symbol that is more prominent than the others. Now, the burgomaster is in a side drawing room on the floor, lying in a simple wooden coffin, surrounded by wilting flowers and a faint odor of decay. Now, yeah, you got no idea. Zanpip, you're just like, I know Torm. All the other gods suck, obviously. They ain't justice.
Absolutely.
Oh, and that was the
Oops, wrong
second
one,
roll.
wrong
So,
one,
so
wrong one.
again for the home roll that I have to try to make it so that it makes it so that it's not just oh you failed so I'll roll or you failed so I roll so then a wizard gets it eventually. This is the home rule that I have so that if you are more proficient in something that will show. So, for example, if you're a group of wizards, someone who's proficient with Arcana helps give advantage to another person who's proficient in Arcana, and then you have a very high chance of success. So that's why the first two rolls are the only ones that matter. But yeah, as a group, you kind of talk. And you're like, I don't really know what these symbols are. But Irina greets you and she says, "Hello. If you're from beyond the fog, then I I'm sorry, first of all, but I hope that you will have a better time than everyone else who's come. Uh, yes, I would offer you something." She gives a little bit of a nervous laugh, but as you see, the place is a little, run down at this point.
Zanpip's gonna walk over and I guess just push against some of the windows, the boards, and why so many precautions? Why
Well,
not fix your windows with glass? What are you
uh,
trying to keep out?
we had glass until the fire balls or the thunder sounds things came to assail the house from the devil's minions. That blew away the glass very quickly. And yeah, we haven't really had time to remodel since our father died and we've been assaulted every night until then and we're trying to figure out what to do. But yes, that's why we're in a little sorry state to greet you.
Is
Did you say every night? You said you're assaulted every evening, every night?
We had been, and then for the past few days, ever since our
Oh,
father died, we haven't for some reason. I, we we were told
oh.
Well, good
that.
lady of the house,
Yeah.
we thank you.
Mhm.
We thank you for your hospitality and opening your home to us. And do not feel ashamed in any way for what you feel may be less than welcoming in the decor. You clearly have been afflicted by a great evil and great tragedy, and we're here to see if we can help. But we thank you for your hospitality.
Well, thank you for
My
your kindness.
my character like motions to the group. Hey guys, can we talk about something real quick?
Oh, oh, music.
Yeah, what's going on, Chaz?
Yeah. Did you guys see the bite marks on her neck? Or was it just me?
I I did no.
Oh, I
Well,
whispered to you.
I
How hard did I whisper to you? I don't know if you saw it yet, but.
Oh, there it is. I mean, backtrack. Yeah, that was weird.
yeah, I don't know if this is the safest place to be right now.
You think it's less safe than being outside?
I would. I don't know. I am unsure. What do you guys think?
Chaz, give me 1 second. I'm going to use. I still have a couple uses of. I have three more uses of my divine sense, and let
Okay.
me. So checking to see, is she undead?
Okay.
I have this image of our group like huddled up, right? And like we're
Okay,
looking like behind us, like, okay, all right, all right, Zan, go ahead, do your thing. Do your thing, Zan. Do it.
there we go.
I don't
And I
want
open up my mind to the power of Torn coming in and letting me get a sense of the order of this room.
All right. All right.
Are the people who they say they are they alive?
So when you open your mind and have Torm just help guide you to figure out if there are any celestials, fiends, or undead, you don't find any traces of celestials at all. You don't find any traces of fiends, and while you don't detect that Irina is undead or is Mark or any of your party, you do detect that there are traces of undead everywhere. And there are some lingering traces of undead, strong lingering traces of undead on Irina, specifically two different sections of her neck. One on her left and one on her right.
I walk back over to Arena and I say, "Gracious lady, forgive us for what might be appear rude. We are simply trying to make sure that we have properly prepared for the evening so that we could assist you and your brother should need arise."
No, that's understandable. You're wary and you're from outside these lands. I get it. I get it. But I hope that we can do whatever we need. And at this point, Ismark says, I think that father's ready for transport now. As you see that the coffin is closed and it seems to have been hammered shut with nails, and he looks towards you, asking for your assistance to bring it up to the church.
Um, can I
Chaz, why don't you go ahead and pick up the coffin and carry it for us, and we'll be your bodyguards. And I'm
can
glad
Hardoon
I like.
cast Druidcraft on the coffin and just sort of like wrap like vines around it just to tie it down even more?
You can. At that, Ismark kind of gives a strange look, and Irina just, oh, magic. That's good. I think. And looks towards Ismark. And just, yeah, it's good. Still a little confused, but yes, they
so.
appreciate the gesture.
I'm gonna carry this thing.
Hmm?
I said, so I'm gonna carry this thing, huh?
Chaz, the
No,
strong.
Hardoon will help. As a furbolg, I get the I can carry twice my capacity or whatever, but I'm not strong, so I will need help.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll give you a hand, maybe two.
I will
I'll
be
give
happy
it
to
a shot.
help.
Here's
Yeah.
Giving it my
Chaz
best.
underneath the
Yeah,
coffin.
I'm like, it's a little bit above me, and I feel like I'm helping, but I know I'm really
All right.
So so
Chaz,
as
why
we
don't you
lift it,
grab it,
how many
grab the
people
door
need
for us?
to
You
pick this up in order to make it move?
you only need four, and you guys have Ismark helping you as well. So it's
Okay.
not too hard to carry, and you go through this procession all throughout town as you go up to the church. Now, the church is literally like this. It's not too far, as you can see. It's only about 440 feet. Oh, and there you go. You can see it's only about 420, 440 feet as you guys go. But as you go through this town, you see that there are some looks from people of just kind of fear, some of a little bit disdain as they see you guys carrying this coffin, but most had that blank look that you've been very accustomed to in this village. And eventually, you all, well, actually not very eventually, very quickly, you all get to the front of this church. Now, when you get to this church, oh wait, oh no, one moment, you didn't see anything. You didn't see anything. Dynamic lighting's on
Actually,
here.
I really didn't
I
see
didn't
anything.
either.
Yeah, it was just a black screen.
Yeah, it was just a
Perfect,
black screen.
perfect. Oh wait, doesn't have dynamic lighting on here? Well, they screwed up. That's alright. You can see anyways, who cares? But as you continue your procession up to here, you eventually get towards the front of the church. And let me get you a good example of a coffin. Screw it. This will be the coffin when it gets over here. Go. It'll appear in a little bit. But you get to the front of this church, and as you get to the front of it, you see that this church doesn't look as good as you would expect. Uh, the church is at atop a slight rise against the roots of the pillar stone that supports the castle that you saw before. Stands a gray, sagging edifice of stone and wood. This church has obviously weathered the assault of evil for centuries on end and is worn and weary. A bell tower rises toward the back, and flickering light shines through holes in the shingled roof. The rafters strain feasibly against their load. Now, you also see that the doors of the church are covered with claw marks and scarred by fire. Wait.
I'm listening for the environment for noise, and I'm trying to monitor what's going on around us because I'm very concerned about that this we could be walking into something that we're not prepared for.
Okay.
Let's say Chaz right now is just kind of behind
I just don't know which
a
check.
hard
Is it
dune.
perception, investigation,
So,
insight?
you could roll perception or investigation. Okay, so yeah, I mean, wow, it's really a thing. But yeah, so
What were you looking at there?
you
I don't know
see
his character
this
name.
part, just the front of the church. I'm just trying to. You see
Okay.
this part, just the front of the church. Is it not? It's like it's not letting me do things. One moment.
Don, what's your character?
Hmm. It's as if Roll20 hates me for some reason. Okay, let's try this again. So, testing, testing. Come on, Roll20. There
Display
we
name.
are. Okay,
Uh,
okay. So you can only see the front of the church. Good.
Yep.
yes,
Okay.
that is correct. That is correct.
Oof. Yeah, it was going wonky for me a little bit ago. Okay, so
Thank you.
yeah. So you see the front of this church, and what do you guys want to do?
So you said there's claws on the door,
Yeah, claw marks on the
or I'm
door.
sorry, claw marks. Hard by looking at those. I don't want to know what kind of animal, but can I tell if it's like a natural thing or if it's a?
That'd be very hard. There are signs that you could, but it would be a very hard survival or nature check. Your choice.
Okay, now guys, bear with me. I don't have any of the stuff on my character sheet, like for real. I just signed up today. Don't be mad. All right.
It's alright. It's alright. So you got. You could just click your. I think that's how it
D20.
works in this.
Can I
Well, for
assist him? Because I
example,
have really high nature.
Okay.
if
So
I did that and I did my survival, that would be an 18 plus 6 for the roll.
24. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know why. Like in Roll20, you just click the skill and it's really easy. I don't know why it's a little bit harder in D&D Beyond, which is really odd. But yeah, so with a 24, you are able to tell that this has been assaulted again by sentries. So it is a mix of wolves, which you would assume, bigger wolves than what you would have assumed as normal wolves. So you could assume that there's dire wolves that have clawed at the front of this church. And you can also see that there are claw marks that are a bit higher, as if it might be a humanoid that has clawed at this church door.
I could see Hardoon like looking at like the top range and Chaz looking at the bottom range of the door, and then like I look down as he looks up and like, oh man.
Hardoon, you see anything up there? Because I'm not getting much down here.
I'm just seeing centuries of a whole lot of uh, wolves and bigger wolves, and it's this place has been attacked a lot.
I would suggest, given the late
Chad,
hour
that's
that
like
we're
Hardoon to pick him
arriving
up.
at, you might want to get inside versus examining the outside.
All right.
Chad's just like, ah! Hardoon doesn't know really how to lift him up properly. He's just like, and you see all of it.
Nice, Chaz. So, do
But
you
yeah,
guys?
no, sorry, Hardoon would have been caught by that. But yeah, we can definitely go inside.
All right, all right.
Do any of us want to look around back by chance?
It is Mark. Can you give us just a minute? My my leg is beginning to cramp again before I
I've
go up these
told you, I've
stairs.
Sure, sure.
told you,
We
Zan.
have
I've told you.
just
I
By the way, it is
have,
getting
I
dark,
have
so we should
herbs.
hurry.
just 2 minutes.
All right, just very quickly.
Chaz, while I'm massaging my leg, Chaz, why don't you um and I'll give a little bit of hand signals. Go take a look, Chaz. While I'm
Do the.
do the
I'll
whole eye thing.
Yeah, and I will like stand up and stretch like to my full 7 foot, and Chaz is behind me, like, run away, Chaz.
All right. So, Chaz, are you trying to be stealthy so that Ismark and Irina don't see you?
What's up?
Are you trying to be stealthy so Ismark and Irina don't see you?
Yeah, a little bit.
All
I'm just
right,
trying to
roll a stealth.
just check around back a little bit.
All right, roll a stealth so they don't see you leave.
Okay, ooh, stuff. I don't know how stealthy that
They
was.
see him leave.
Yeah, they see
You
you
think.
leave. Ismark doesn't really care as much. She's like, "Ah, whatever." And I mean, it's just, be careful, she says as you try to leave. So
She didn't see a thing, Chaz. You're good.
you whisper as he's going by. That would be perfect. All
I'm
right,
just gonna
so
Silly
keep.
you
gnomes.
see what
I
you
just
see
keep
as this
walking
grounds
back.
happens. Now, oh, okay. So what you see in here is all you were able to see a little bit. So go back there. So you get to the F part. So you see that the chapel is a sham. The chapel is a shambles with overturned and broken pews littering the dusty floor. Dozens of candles mounted in candlesticks and candelabras light every dusty corner in a fervent attempt to rid the chapel of shadows. At the far end of the church sits a claw-scarred altar, behind which kneels a priest in soiled vestments. Next to him hangs a long, thick rope that stretches up to the bell tower. And you have 13. So you hear a sound coming from the bottom of the church. You're not entirely sure what. If you want to, you can roll a perception to try to listen to it.
Yeah, I'll roll a perception.
Okay. Okay. I'll whisper it to you. that is what you hear as like muffled sounds coming from the bottom of this chapel. Now, what else do you want to do, and what is the rest, and what do the rest of you want to do?
I think while I'm massaging my calf, I'd like to take a look at Ismark's neck. Are there any bite marks on his neck?
Roll a perception. You don't see that there are any bite marks on his neck at all. But as you look around, because I'm assuming you're going to look at Irina as well, just to compare, unless I'm wrong. Okay, so you look at Irina and you see
Yeah,
that there are
well,
two different sets of
yeah.
bite marks. Two bite marks down here and two bite marks here.
I, Irina, I hate to ask, but we shared a letter that we received with your brother, and in the letter it talked about a vampire biting you, and I'm noticing the marks on the neck. Are those from the vampire? How recent were they, and how often does
I
this happen?
I think they were. It's not very. It's very hazy around that time. Ismark, maybe you could shed some more light as Ismark fills you in, and he says, "Yes, me and my father were defending our home, and at one point, Irina walked out, and as if she was transfixed by something, and then the assault stopped, and we saw that there were these two bite marks on her neck. The next time it happened, the devil himself walked into our home as again Irina was transfixed and bit her a second time. I don't know if this will what this will do if he keeps doing it, but obviously it's nothing good. So I I don't know if Irina has much time before anything happens. That's why I hope the father has something for her.
How
I'm growing visibly agitated and I'm continuing to look around the total environment for anything that seems out of the ordinary.
Well, I mean, for churches, you've been to a church or two before. You've seen that they don't look like a complete battle-scarred ruin that has a lot of terribleness that has happened to it. So that already is out of place. And
Well, I was thinking more about being on alert status,
oh, okay.
being
So
alert to anything that might
okay, okay.
happen, so that it could drop on us.
All right. So you're just being alert. If there is anything pertinent, then I'll have you roll a perception check. Chaz, I think you've got your information, so you could continue doing whatever you
Yeah,
want. Whether you progress further or
I
go
think
back to
I'm
the
just.
group.
I'll check a little bit further. Just not too much. Just we'll go look back. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back then.
Okay, so you see like a little small graveyard cemetery, and you just do
Yeah,
that as you take about
yeah,
2 minutes. Gotcha.
yeah. Okay, cool.
So you guys see Chaz come back around the corner.
Oh, then I'll be like right. Oh, not on top. I'll just go back to where I was at.
so I
Hey,
so,
Chaz.
so, so perhaps
Hey
I'm going to start talking to
guys.
Ismark to give Chaz a chance to touch base with the buddies. And Ismark, what happened here at this church? Why is this church in a ruin? No follower of Torn would ever allow a holy place to fall into such disrepair.
Well, I could honestly shed a little bit of light on that subject, a little bit. Just a little bit. As little as I am, little bit. No, so I was sneaking around back, just having a good time, checking things out, and I found a window. This one was not as boarded up, so I definitely could see inside, and everything's smashed up inside. For one, that's first thing. Everything's like obliterated, basically. Uh, and I did hear somebody say, "Father, please feed me. I'm a little hungry." So I don't think she's talking about any kind of human or like, regular animal type of food. So, we could want to watch out for that, because he could be the vampire. A church taken over by a vampire probably would look a little like this. Just saying. That's all I got to say. All right, I said my piece, guys.
So, so Ismark, what are you not telling us?
No, I'm telling you everything I
Where,
know. I
what are
don't.
we going into here?
I'm not entirely sure. I haven't been to the church in, I don't know, well, a while. I know that the father was very distressed after his son went off with people from beyond the land of Barovia, like yourselves, but beyond that, I'm not entirely sure.
Hmm.
So you just got something strange in the neighborhood. Gotcha.
Well, we have many of those things. That's what I'm gonna have to be trying to patch up soon, if I
You,
Yeah,
can.
you got a big job of that for sure.
I do.
Maybe we can help. Maybe we can help talk to the people. Maybe they're reasonable.
I
Well,
look
Honestly,
at
maybe.
if you could somehow help my sister, if this helps my sister, that will have been enough. And I thank you for that. But yes, let's
Well, maybe someone is in distress. I mean,
Was there anybody in the church that you could see besides the
Oh,
priest?
I couldn't see who. It sounded like a female, but not 100% sure.
Oh no, no,
It
it didn't
was.
sound like a. It sounded like a teenager, like a teenage boy would be the
Oh,
best
okay,
way. Yeah, with your perception, which is
okay,
pretty good.
okay. Okay. Okay, so I heard a teenage boy. That's not good look for a priest either. Just saying, he has teenage boys hold up in that. So I think we should go check on that situation probably.
was
I,
there a was there a second way into the church, Chaz?
Is I just went straight to the back. I saw a little graveyard, but from the other side, it didn't look like any doors or anything like that. So I'm guessing this is the only way in. As far as I can tell, I'm sure, I can't see everything, but as good as I can.
Um, I,
I mean, I think we should definitely go in. Something like that just sounds.
unnatural.
Yeah.
What
Xanpip's,
else is new for this town?
that's right. So Xanpip's gonna walk up and pound on the door. Or are the doors are closed? Is that correct?
The doors are closed.
Are they locked?
Chaz
They are
kind of
not
steps
locked.
back a little bit. A little bit.
So
He's not, maybe right there. Yeah, that's
yeah.
fine.
So let me rethink. Maybe I didn't speak too quick. It is Mark. Can you welcome us into this church?
Yes, yes, I can. He goes to open the door as he says, Father Donovich. And when the door opens, you see that the doors open to reveal a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long hall leading to a brightly lit chapel. The hall is unlit and reeks of mildew. Four doors, two on each side of the hall, lead to adjacent chambers. You can see the chapel is strewn with debris and can hear a soft voice from within reciting a prayer. Suddenly, the prayer is blotted out by an inhuman scream that rises up from beneath the floor. And it doesn't actually make any sense. It's just an inhuman scream.
Is it a
Um,
teenage boy scream?
It's a "Ah!" type of scream. Once you enter.
Xanpip's gonna step past Ismark. This isn't right. This isn't how a church should be. And I'm forcing my way into this place.
All right, the Father Donovich, as you got from Ismark, doesn't seem to really look up at you. He seems to just continually be fervently praying at this altar.
How far away am I from the father?
Mm, this far, 40 feet.
Okay.
Oh no. Sorry. Creighton would probably be more like 50 feet. That's a Hardoon, I think you were measuring from.
Oh, oh.
Oh
I
yeah.
think I was measuring. Oh, I was trying to measure for Zanpip
Um,
because he was asking me.
along, yeah, along for Zanpip, I probably would have gone into the door hearing that as well.
So the
Okay.
coffin's on the ground.
Yeah, the coffin's right here.
Yeah, I figure we would have set that down when you were rubbing your calf.
Yeah. And Chaz is walking away. Two people holding it, right?
Chaz is backing up a little bit. He's not 100% sure what if he's trying to go head first or if he's just trying to hold back. So he's just going to err
I'm
with
going to go ahead
caution.
and move up to the door entrance. Which
He's
one?
just trying to see if he needs to start saving lives or not. So
Okay. So you go up and you see that this man seems to be just praying at the altar, as if he's not trying to pay any attention to you, as the screams don't seem to
Okay.
disturb him at all from his fervent
So
prayer.
I will call out, Father. What in Torm's name has happened here?
Torm. He looks up. He's like, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. And it's very hard for you to hear this from how far you are away. It's like he's speaking, but it's just his voice is so hoarse that there's nothing to it.
So I'm gonna move forward, but as I'm passing these doors, can I, if I can see anything through them or hear anything, I want to pay special attention to the doors
You
on
hear a
my
pounding
left as
coming
I
from
move
here.
forward.
Yeah, and I will stay 5 feet.
Okay. So you hear a pounding coming from here.
Um,
Coming from where?
This one. This door. Bottom right.
hmm. um, Hardoon, Hardoon, watch that door.
Hardoon will position himself here and then keep an eye on on that door.
Zanpip will move one more forward,
Alright.
and I at this point, I don't see anything. I don't know. I don't want to take over all the actions. I don't know if the others want to move forward
uh,
as
Chaz
I'm going.
wants to kind of follow the rear of Zampip a little bit.
Okay, you
How far
also
can
hear
I
this
move or doesn't
scream
matter?
coming from that area there. And upon that
Wait,
scream, the father gets up. Ignore that. Ignore that. As he says, as he just walks towards you, as if a casual, ignore that. Just ignore it. It's fine. From the scream,
Is it aggressive in the way he's? Is the father
By the
approaching
guardian.
aggressively?
No, no, there is no
What
aggression
is
in his.
behind those doors?
Okay,
Uh,
so I'll leave. Father, what's making that scream?
um, a poor troubled soul
Obvious
who
something we don't want to meet.
needs help.
Chaz is like kind of like gestures, so like Zampip. He's like, ask him about the little boy.
Where's the boy?
He is in a place where he will not
Father,
be harmed
where's
or
the boy?
harm others.
Father, it's not natural to put a boy in a jail. Why is
No,
he?
no,
Why is he? I
it's
don't know.
not
In a jail in a
natural.
hole.
It's not natural, but what the devil's cursed him with is not natural as well. And
What has happened to your father? What can we?
the poor boy tried to.
So step.
And you can step up to him, and he doesn't seem to have any motion towards you. Um,
Okay.
and he says it. He tried to go against the devil, and he joined an outsider who
Yeah.
tried to lead a rebellion. he he didn't fare well, and I'm hoping that through prayer to the morning Lord, I can find an answer, something to help him.
You mean the Morning Lord Lathander? No, no.
Yes, yes.
Let me pray with you over this boy. Let's see him.
Is anybody standing near me besides Ismark?
No, no.
Uh,
Ismark is he's actually going to stand a little bit outside, just listening in.
So is there anybody in voice range? Because on my screen I don't see anybody's icons, tokens right now.
Oh, because we're probably in
uh,
the black, huh?
Yeah.
I'd say Chaz and Hardoon could both probably hear. I mean, we're 5 feet away.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
we're pretty close. I would
Uh,
say most of us should be able to hear over
Friends,
here.
I truly believe that this is no longer a house of prayer. I believe this is a den of death. I believe behind the doors we're going to find unholy. And clearly, the boy was taken by the fiend that we were brought here to try to stop. And we are setting ourselves up for a trap.
Hardoon will yell to Zanpip, or not yell, but hey Zanpip, uh, Creighton's having reservations.
Zanpip's
I
way.
believe this cannot be solved with prayer.
I think you might be muted, Zanpip, or
So Zampip here is Hardoon. So Hardoon, there's nobody in here except the father. I do not see anything else, and the
Something
father
is
father
banging on this
worships
door.
Lathander. I believe we need to. I need to see this evil spirit. We need to see how we can help this boy.
Something is banging on the door, and something is saying, I smell them. I smell them, Father. They smell so good.
Father, where is
Open up.
the boy?
He is locked
Is he
away for
banging?
his
Is he?
safety and for ours.
I don't know if I do. We want to meet this boy? Are we sure we
No,
want to meet
no,
said boy?
no, no, you don't. He's sick.
He's not even the one I'm worried about. I'm worried about the one right here in this door we're next to. It's
That
banging to
that
get out.
that is true. I mean, there's a lot of bad things happening right
Oh, are you
now.
talking about this
Is
area as you motion over here?
Yes.
yeah?
Because
Is
that's
Wizzo? Is that where the screaming was coming from, or was that
so the
the
screaming actually
teenage?
emanates underneath the floorboards around you, but it does actually get to more around here as there's more banging. And when you mention to this area, he
Is
says,
out of the four doors, is it the only one where there's a noise coming from it?
"Yes, yes."
Then I want to position myself directly opposite. I can't really see very well from here, but opposite that door, wherever it is. Is
Okay.
it? Would I be opposite here?
For Creighton, you would be opposite here, opposite of that door.
Okay.
Okay. So
Father, what's behind the door, Father?
it's it's another door to keep him safe from himself and from others, and keep us safe from him as well. He's sick, and it. I'm doing all I can for him, hoping for a miracle. But you've come for
Okay.
your own
Um,
purpose. What is it?
Father, we have the Burgermeister to deliver to this holy place to have sacred rites.
Oh, as he looks over and sees the coffin, he says, "We can stay here for the night, and in the morn I can perform the rituals. If you stay here, I would ask that you don't go in that door, and that, well, you will see a spectacular sight, the March of the Dead, which happens every midnight around here."
Outside the chapel? Oh, sorry.
Um,
He
um,
couldn't hear me.
yeah. So Zan, so Zanpip will go travel back to my companions and share what I've just learned, and ask if we should bring the coffin into the church. And I'll stand with my back directly to the door, leaning up against the door to help prop it, keep it closed.
Okay.
Um, yeah, we can. Hardoon will start moving it, but obviously, we. I don't know. Hardoon's a little freaked out about uh, a creature in the basement situation.
And why would you be freaked out? All right, so
I'm more freaked out about the March of the Undead. So
So, colleagues, and do I understand we have in the room opposite me, there is someone or something in that room. And from the last conversation you heard with the priest, it sounds like it might be the boy, but yet we hear something coming from the basement as well. And we've heard about a march of the undead. Is that accurate?
Seems like it. I mean, he
Does this
has
march of
anyone
the
checked
undead
his
happen
neck?
in here or outside of the chapel?
Has anyone checked the priest neck for bites too? No.
no.
Okay, so we don't know if he could be also one, maybe, possibly. We're
He
not
doesn't
quite sure.
strike me as someone who's been afflicted as
Okay.
the others have. I
Apparently,
think
he's
his
super lucky
afflictions of the
then.
mind. I think his afflictions of the mind rather than body or soul.
So let's
There's
all.
something wrong with that guy. I don't know what it is, but there's something not right about him.
So is Irina and Ismark, are they going with the coffin, or are they
yeah,
staying
they're going with the
outside of the
coffin. They're coming with
church?
the coffin with you guys.
Okay.
Blah, blah.
So let's keep an eye on this door. Let's keep one eye making sure it doesn't open, but let's all enter into the church proper.
I'll stand at the back, but I'll come in. Not against my better judgment.
I'm gonna camp. I'm gonna sit right opposite that door.
So so as Zanpip moves forward, I would like to examine this priest. Chaz had a great point.
Okay.
May I look at I don't know if his neck is visible, and is
It
there
is.
anything that seems out? Perhaps
So, yeah, you don't
I'll
need to.
even use my divine.
Well, first, you don't need to use any check or anything. You can see there are no bite marks on his neck. And then to continue from there.
Okay. Um, so I think if I don't see any bite marks, I won't use divine sense. And I'm going to ask the priest, how is this church destroyed? What happened to the pews?
They've. Well. When I brought the boy here, there was a bit of a tussle, and that in addition to all the minions of the devil lead to, well, what you see before you.
So I'd like to signal to Hardoon to come in and ask him to examine these pews. Is this, we saw those claw marks outside. Are we seeing something similar in here?
Sardoon looks around. Does he see any kind of familiarity between the two?
Between which two again? Can you repeat?
I'm sorry, the claw marks, like on the outside of the doors compared
Um,
to like all the claw marks in here.
so there are some claw marks that could bear similarities, but you can tell just from looking at it that there are many, many different things that have smashed these pews. Whether it's more blunt trauma force by something crashing into it, which is more likely. It looks like there are some claw marks on them, but it's not the predominant way how the pews have been destroyed.
I'll tell Zanpip. It looks more similar to a pack of hyenas on like a free buffet day. It's all over the place in here.
I've changed my mind. I want to start to do a reconnaissance of the entire area of the chapel to see, so that I can see our entire field of where we're at right now. I don't like the fact I haven't seen everything in front of me.
Okay, you can
So, in
move your
other words,
character
I
to
want
do
to move,
reconnaissance.
see, like that. I want to be, but I can't. I can only see this at this time. Is that how it is? Because that's field of vision
Yep.
versus I've already explored this and I can see it.
Yep, you can only
Okay.
see field of vision, and I think I
This
had.
is new
Oh, I
to
don't have
me.
explorer
This
mode.
part is new because I've not done this
There,
before.
there's that. Yeah, explorer mode's on. But yeah, you can only see what you can see through field of vision.
Okay. So what is this here in this corner? Or well, it's
Oh,
not there anymore.
what is this? Whoa, whoa! I let you guys get explorer mode on, and y'all go crazy on me.
What is that?
What is many things? What is which thing? Can you ping it?
Yeah,
What is
somehow
that? Yeah, I
No,
can,
like
right?
That is Hardoon going crazy. There we go.
my portrait got like
That's
crazy all of a sudden.
that's
There it
fat
goes. All right.
Hardoon.
I don't.
Oh,
Yeah,
excellent.
yeah. That's why I was like, what happened?
I would I would like to ask is Mark
Hmm.
the priest and Irina what we need to do next for the
Burgermaster.
burgomaster.
Well,
How do we set his soul at peace? And being a paladin, I'm sure that I would join in prayer if that's what we're doing.
okay. So you ask the priest, and he says, "I'll wait till dawn, and then give him a last rites."
Is it dark at this point outside, or do we need
It
to?
is dark. It is now dark outside, so that if you want to go out, do so
Yep,
at your own risk.
sure. Well, I think they've all been telling us to stay in, so I think that's probably what we'd decide to do. I think I'd like to. Is there something that I can use to block up against the exterior door
Oh yeah, there's so many
to
broken
create
pews. You can
something
just
to?
there are so many
So I'd
broken
like to.
pews. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd like to bring, pile up some stuff. Maybe even if I have any pitons or something in my
Colleagues,
kit, and just
would
kind
it
of bar the door as best as I can, as well as the door to the basement or the door to the teenagers' room.
Okay. So
I agree. That's a good idea.
all right. So you are able to do so, and yeah, you're able
Do
to.
we
Hmm, mhm.
do we see a door to the basement?
You do not. You just see this door that leads to a room.
Has anyone found it strange that we keep hearing sounds from beneath the floor, but there doesn't appear to be a door that leads to it?
Well, there's a lot to this church I don't understand. But I know that we. I don't think. Well, I know for a fact we haven't been into that one room where the banging is. Um,
Can could let's ex, can some let's explore the doors where it's not banging. Father, how do you get into the basement of this church? You
Don't.
have the boy is
He is safe from you and me. Do not go into this room. As he is motioning toward there. The other areas you can explore. One is my office, one is my room, and one was the boys' room.
So I want to go into the room that I'm facing, the top left
Gotcha, gotcha. So,
room.
this room, what you see when you open it, is that this appears to be an
Wait, hold
office.
on. If he's going in, then Chaz is backing up a little
All
bit.
right. So you see that this is like an office
Okay,
for this one here.
I can't get in there.
Can't get in this one.
Is that the one I'm in? Okay,
Yeah, that's the one I thought you were looking at. All
I
right.
can't
So,
get in either one of them.
oh, yeah, because it's dynamic lighting. So the office. An old desk and a chair stand against the south wall. A wooden holy symbol, Philathander, mounted above them, a sunburst. A 10-foot long iron rod attached to the north wall stands bare, suggesting a tapestry once hung there. Against the far wall stands a wooden cabinet with four tall doors.
Okay, do I have a lamp or a torch in my pack?
Yes, yes, you have torches.
Okay, I'd like to light a torch into the room and examine it further.
Okay. So you light your torch, and it doesn't illuminate anything else at this point. The area here is so brightly lit that it illuminates the rest of the place. Or if you're in here, can you not see it?
I couldn't see it until just now.
Okay, yeah, I
Okay,
just needed to put you in. Cool, cool. So that is what you see.
okay. So I I, I start to I look at the whole symbol. Is it uh, is it something that can be removed from the wall?
Yes, it's mounted, so yes, you can remove it if you wish. It is pretty big though, pretty hefty.
Okay. What about the cabinets? I open them to look inside.
They contain very little. There's a tinderbox, a few wooden boxes full of candles, and two well-used books. If you are interested, this
Okay,
is the
I'd
name.
like to take a look at the books.
All right, so which book do you want to take a look at? That book or this book?
The Blade of Truth.
Okay, so, hmm, this is a little bit interesting. It'll take you some time to read it. You can tell that it's kind of some convoluted writing just at a glance. So you could read this when you guys rest. But right now, it's going to be a little bit of a convoluted book. You can just tell.
Okay. So I just take it and put it in my materials.
Okay. And
Okay. I'd like to look at Hymns to the Dawn.
okay, so Hymns to the Dawn has a whole bunch of prayers to the morning Lord. If you want, here is a direct link to all the fun prayers that are in the Hymns of the Dawn. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Mhm. I think I'll leave that. I'm not
Okay.
much of a poet.
All right. And you get they're more of religious hymns rather than poetry. Like Chaz could probably produce poetry, but this is just like religious indoctrination and crap. Bleh. More up Xanpip's alley than Chaz.
Okay.
I think motioned to Chaz, and Chaz, why don't you check out the bedroom?
Oh,
All
you want me to check out the bed?
right.
Okay. Okay. We're talking about the same one the boys in, right?
No, I think that top I don't know. In explorer mode, it looked like the top left has a bed in it, so I'm assuming that's the
Okay,
respawn
okay,
area.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So just to
All
go
right,
over this really quick.
I'll go check it.
Okay, so on the top, what you'll find is that this dirty room contains a wooden bed with a straw-filled mattress, next to which rests a small table with an oiled lamp burning brightly on it. Mounted above the bed's headboard is a wooden sun-shaped holy symbol. And just to get rid of the bottom one, since we'll be going through this, when you go there, this one has
Hmm.
a dirty, lightless room that contains a wooden bed filled with a straw mattress. Mounted above the headboard is a wooden holy symbol. So these are just two bedrooms.
Okay.
Um, I'm going to kind of Hardoon's going to go to Zan, and if he could, kind of pull him to the side. Um, I I could probably get a closer look in that room without anyone really knowing if you really wanted to.
I think that'd be a great idea. Let me bring the father over to a window to ask him to tell me about the graveyard.
Okay. So when you go over,
So
who's
I'm
going
gonna
over to the
back in.
father? Okay, Zampip. So when you go over,
So
you
I'll come up to this upper window and beckon the father over.
okay. The father isn't actually paying attention to you at this point. He is talking to
So I'm
Irina
just
and Ismark. The conversation that he has with them is Ismark asking Father Donovich what to do with Irina, where they could go, and Father Donovich does say that, well, there are two options. You could take her to Valaki or Kresik. Valaki has an abbey that is a bastion of good in these lands, and Kresik has an abbey to a saint, so either place should be able to keep Irina safe, I would assume, from the devil himself. But she needs protection to get there, and I don't think you'd cut it, young burgomaster. And that's kind of the conversation that they have.
What was the second place?
The places are Valaki
Kresic?
and
Kresik.
Kresik.
Ah,
Hmm.
oh, okay. Thank you.
So Zanpip, I guess, is close enough to over here, and would like to offer his services.
So how would
My
you
my
offer your
lady,
services?
my so my lady, my God, asks of asks of his followers to protect those weaker, to sacrifice themselves to heal others, to be a bastion of good in this land. I believe my companions and I would be able to assist you in leaving this place and to take care of the evil and to keep you safe from this demon lord. But I'm sure we still have questions that must be answered before we could leave.
Of course.
Sorry, guys. What were the two places again?
Kresik and Valaki. So he actually states, this will make it a bit nicer for you guys, that I do have a map of the land of Barovia for you. I'm going to take you here so that you will be able to see the land of Barovia. Just give me 1 second, and voila, should be all revealed. Revealed.
I'm looking at a big
Can you see it?
black landscape still.
It's still black.
I can't see
Big black
it.
landscape. Well, I
Mm.
now can only see. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. You can see it all now.
It's black for me.
Yeah, I can see
Oh,
the whole
oh,
thing.
oh, 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 oh,
So we're in that lower right clearing.
Okay, so you can see it. Okay,
lower right.
so you can see. So yes,
So
you are at the village of
Okay,
Barovia.
I see it.
He shows you that there's the village of Valaki over here, and that Kresik is. Oof, it's way over here. It's right here, like the other edge of Barovia.
Oh.
Yeah, so Valaki and then Krezik.
Mm.
So Father, what are the advantages of or what is this journey like? What would we encounter on the way to Valaki?
I don't know. I think that you'll be able to make a relatively safe journey if you go during the day. If you go at night, I don't know, but the land of Barovia is a treacherous and terrible place.
While they're conversating, I had moved myself to like the corner by the front door, and I was going to use one of my wild shapes to change into a spider.
All right. So
Now, I
as
was reading through the thing. I don't see any. I don't see anything that says like verbal or whatever components. So
no,
I
no,
think
you
wild
just
shape. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure.
no, you just go into a spider. Ah, there we go.
Spider.
And go spider.
Ooh.
Oh, does it show? Good, good. Just one moment then.
Yes.
There we go. Alright. So, you as your little spider scuttle underneath. And as you scuttle underneath. Wait, you do not have vision. Why do you not? What you see in here. I know it's a little bit weird, but what you see in this room, I'll just describe it to you, is that time and neglect have punched holes in the ceiling of this moldy room, which contains a few broken shingles amid puddles of water. In one corner, set into the floor, is a heavy wooden trapdoor, held shut with chain and padlock. A young man's screams of anguish can be heard through the door.
Okay. Obviously, I'll just do kind of a cursory glance past the trap door, make sure there's nothing like crazy, but I will not proceed down the trap door. I don't believe. Well, actually, let me ask you this: is there any? Is it
Any
sealed
crack?
airtight
It is sealed
or?
airtight. And you can
Okay.
see that there's
Okay.
like banging
So in
against
that,
it as well, but yeah, it's sealed airtight.
ooh, I'm getting this image from like Evil Dead right now.
Not too
Ugh.
far off.
All right. So okay, so seeing what I could see, I'm gonna scuttle back out and kind of mid eight leg kind of vroom, right back up into Haradoon and kind of round the corner like do 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 do. Nothing happened.
Okay.
And when there is a break, obviously I will talk with the group and let them know what I saw and that it looks it looks pretty scary in there.
Okay. So you tell them what you've seen. Excellent.
On the bright side, I don't think anything's coming up.
Hardoon, it's the first time I've traveled with a furbog. I will tell you that was very clever of you.
Sorry, my wife just got home, so the boys are going crazy. Anyway, thank you. So yeah, I think we're safe from attack there.
So I would, Chaz, do you have a song you might play for us tonight to help us pass the time. Maybe something that
So, like,
would
roll
uh,
20's working, which is good, but Twitch is
would just
not right
help
now
us
because their
out,
internet's
give us a
sucking.
little advantage should we need it.
Gonna turn on the
I
mute
do
voice again.
actually have something like that. If you want an advantage, I
Ashanti could
mean,
do it.
I do
Let's
got some
go.
bardic inspiration. That sounds
Yeah, maybe something
appropriate. Or do you want to
dirge-like,
just
perhaps. So
what is it?
something a little dirge-like, set the mood for the dead rising over a misty landscape as they shamble forth from their graveyards. Maybe Michael Jackson's Thriller or something.
Well, he pulls out his bagpipes. He's like, "What key is this? Is that A minor?" He starts playing something that's like a little off key, but something resembling, some drudgy music.
All right.
Uh, it all very eerie. He hears banging in the background, and so he's like kind of playing with the bang.
All right. And you're trying to give
So I
inspiration towards someone? So I love it if you are.
I mean, I can.
Yeah, with this you can
Yeah,
definitely give
oh yeah,
inspiration.
yeah.
I think for someone to be alert, maybe Hardoon, are you pretty perceptive?
I do consider myself relatively wise to the wiles.
So perhaps Hardoon would do well. I'll maybe close my eyes and wait for Hardoon to elbow me if the need arises.
All right. So you guys are taking a
Can,
long rest here, correct?
yeah, no, none of us are injured, so I don't have. Can I cast bardic inspiration though on Hardoon?
Yes, you can. And then he
Okay.
can roll that. You won't need to actually roll anything tonight, as you are trying to rest. One thing that you do have happen is when you are trying to rest. Well, actually, a few things happen. First, that you can do this while going over a few other things. You do gain a level to level 3 since you have actually made it to the church and have accomplished this bit, which is a big step. So you do get
Woohoo!
to get to level 3. And
Yes.
How do you do that?
how do you do that? Well, you bring up the
Do you just
PHB
type
and you
in
start
level
leveling.
3?
hmm So, level 3, essentially, let's say for you would have, usually there are tables that make it very easy. If you have a PHB, then you'll be able to get it very easily. If not, then you can just look up D&D 5e and your
Yeah, I have it
class.
through D&D Beyond.
Okay, yeah, yeah. And then that should help you. You'll be able to just level up
I've
your
got
character.
the D&D Beyond, so.
Okay, so that should make it too hard. So, a few things also happen. The first few is that Irina and Ismark have a discussion. And you guys are up, so you're able to hear this discussion as well. And essentially, Irina is talking to Ismark and saying that Zanpip offered to take her with you guys. And while Ismark thinks that's the right idea and does kind of want to go with, Irina reminds him of his duties here and he begrudgingly stays. But he does give her something to help her along the way. He makes sure that she has her rapier underneath her clothing, as she does show. Well, at least you can use that to defend yourself, and I'll give you a bit of a treasure that we have from our house as he pulls out this strange item. It is a stick that is deep blue with tinges of white, about 2 feet long, and is thick and knobby. The grip is smooth and the design can be held comfortably. There are currently 6 stars shown around the grip as well. And you guys over here that he gives a description of what this is to Irina, as he describes it as a wand of healing, and asks that she use that in order to help you all. With that, he leaves and gets ready. And not only does Irina state that she has this wand, but she comes to you and she says, I thank you for taking me with you, Zenpip, and everyone else," as she motions to all of you. "And if you want, I do. I'm not much of a fighter. I can help patch wounds with this," as she shows you the wand, "but I also have the ability to brew potions on the go as she takes from her pocket. It's like a little folded piece of wood, and she starts to unfold it. And as she unfolds it, more and more and more, it just keeps going until eventually it is an alchemical bench that has a whole bunch of beakers and everything else. And she says that I can fold this up and have brews going with us as we travel. If you find any herbs, or if we find any herbs or anything to make potions of healing, I know how to do so. Beyond that, any magical things, I'm not a magical practitioner, but you can use my workbench if you need.
Can I ask Could I ask the father? Um, Father, I've heard that water blessed by a priest, by a cleric of of standing within their faith can really help protect us from the undead. Would you be willing to bless some water, to send us with some holy water?
I can prepare the spell to give you two doses. If you have water available
Father,
in your vials, I can do so.
uh, I'm gonna assume. I'm gonna hope so.
Yeah, you guys have some vials that you can fill with
Yeah,
water.
good. Okay, good. Phew. All right. Looking at the person who made the character sheet, saying, "I hope so. I hope you don't shortchange me that
Yeah,
much."
you just have like
Um,
basic stuff, so
okay,
that's
so
okay.
all right, so 2 vials of holy water. I'll add to my inventory then,
Hmm.
or let me hand one to Hardoon. I think we have a little bit of synergy going with um, our fight against the unnatural.
Arjun will take it. He'll kind of sniff it and good water, and he'll put it on on his belt pouch.
That's good.
All right, all right. So, let's see. One other thing that you do have happen is that who is on watch at midnight?
Hardoon.
Uh,
Hardoon?
yeah,
Gotcha. So, Hardoon,
yes, sir.
at about midnight, you start to see an eerie green light suffuses the graveyard. From this light emerges a ghostly procession, wavering images of doughty women toting great swords, wood-wise men with slender bows, dwarves with glittering axes, and archaically dressed mages with beards and strange pointed hats. All these and more march forth from the graveyard, their numbers growing by the second as they start to progress their march towards the castle Ravenloft. As you are up at night and watching this sight to behold at midnight, you see these ghostly apparitions seem to storm the
What up?
castle while there is magic happening.
Yeah.
Hmm? Oh, fireballs, lightning bolts,
Oh,
many
sorry.
other magical effects happen as well as these spectral forms continue to go forth. And they continue to go into the castle itself until eventually all is silent.
As I'm seeing this, do am I seeing this as like a passing on moment, or more like a tortured soul moment?
Roll a knowledge religion, because that's what would be the best for this.
Okay, gotcha. So that is just a D20. Well, there you go.
I mean, they're like floaty thingamabobs.
let me check. Let me check my modifier.
And that one's not gonna do you well, anyways.
So at that point, I think Hardoon would probably be no. I think Hardoon at that point would just kind of be like, "Whoa, whoa."
Yeah. Sherry, close
As
the
long as
door.
I don't feel threatened, I don't think I would wake the party. Like, if I felt threatened, or I'd be like, oh, but if they're just kind of walking by, I'd be
They
like,
seem to have no interest in you
okay.
whatsoever. Yeah, no interest in you whatsoever.
I, then I will let the natural unnatural progression continue.
All right, it is a sight to behold. But after this sight is done, it seems to be somewhat quiet. You all will have to deal with the voice screaming at you throughout the night, which is why I will need everyone to roll a Constitution saving throw to see if you suffer a level of exhaustion or not.
Hey, keep it down. Can you keep it down?
Damn, why is
Trying
it
to
disable?
sleep over here.
Hardoon, no.
That's a 6 for hard to. Oh, is it the same?
Constitution saving throw,
No,
yes.
no. Nice, man. Nice.
Nice. So
Oh,
Hardoon,
saving throw. That was just if I
mhm.
just click on the if I clicked on just the Constitution button, that's different than the saving throw.
It
Do you
could
know?
be depending on your class.
So
It
in the
shouldn't.
the attribute score.
Yeah, I don't think it is different for you
Okay,
or the
Yeah, I'm not
paladin. But
sure
yeah,
for a
yeah.
I
paladin.
think I have
So
a one on. I got a one on both. All right, I'll leave it.
so Hardoon, you suffer a point of exhaustion. What this means is ability checks like perception, survival, knowledge, religion, knowledge, nature,
Ah,
etc. You will have disadvantage on until you get a good long rest.
understood.
Mhm. You're just a little spooked out from like
Just a
this
just a
point.
question with that bardic inspiration.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was up too late watching the ghosts.
Yeah, it
But
Would
lasts 10
bardic
minutes, so it's
bardic
not going to help.
inspiration have kicked in at all for him?
It lasts 10
Oh,
minutes.
okay,
This is at the end of the night sleep is when yeah, it's rolled. So and a d6 won't be able to get to 10, so
got it.
mhm. All right. So also if you can, double click your tokens and update them. I think you'll only have to update the green. The blue is your AC and the red is your passive perception. So I think it's just yeah, the green you'll have to update and that's it. Otherwise you should be good on all
Can
this.
I go to the bathroom real fast?
Sure, sure. So as Chaz is going to the bathroom, do you guys want to start planning what you're doing? Sorry, the death procession. We can go through that really quick. So also, while you guys are updating your token, you then in the morning, as the sunlight rises to hit the graveyard, have a spot opened up for the deceased burgomaster. He gets the last rites, and this is what it is. If well, I'll read it. Well, since Chaz is gone. It states, "O Dawnmaster, support this soul in his last